And we're back to Going Corn, episode number 10, here in Death Week for Leroy. It's going to be an exciting week. And let me introduce my co-host. He's back, Caleb Yonkman. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Fuck the Cubs.
Wow, already dropping F-bombs in the first 2 seconds.
And also, I'm not back by choice. I was told that if I didn't come back, I was going to have.
You're going to be put in the basement where T-Walk was.
John Monco was going to come over to my house and try and destroy me. So, one of the two.
All right, well, I mean, you're here. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, but just for the record, we are taking applications for the new host of Going Corn.
Get out of here.
Because everyone wants someone different than me.
That's false.
Confirmed.
Because we didn't take enough hot takes last week, so whatever. So you can make all the hot takes tonight.
Don't I do that anyways?
Yeah, that's the point. See, that's why you get the people going. It's provocative.
I think Tim did enough of that for us to last an entire season.
Yikes. He got real bored while in Arizona. Let's say that.
I told people this. He was just bored. This is what he does when he's bored. He stirs the pot. He's either working and stressed or stirring the pot. There's two hobbies. You can literally take a pie chart and sum up Tim's time in one of two places. Working or stressed, stirring the pot. Half and half.
Absolutely true. But so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go do the same thing we always do. Look at last week's games. I'll start with the 6 o'clock games. Caleb will do the 7 o'clock games. So we'll get right into it. On Harambe, the game of the day was Barnstormers and Narwhals. Barnstormers won 8-4. Then Squint Sluggers Bombers, the big matchup between the brothers there. 2-0 Sluggers, 5-0 Maniacs over the Bashers, 6-5, a close one between the other big matchup of the week, the Liners Badgers, and then
with Hurricane Horatio on Fenway.
It was pretty rough. We'll get to that after we're done here. But then Turtles over Vultures 7-6. 7 o'clock games.
The Vultures won 5-3 over the Turtles. The Liners won 11-10 over the Badgers in a game that I probably should have lost. The Maniacs won 3-1 over the Bashers. The Bombers won 1-0 over the Sluggers, and the Barnstormers beat the Noble Narwhals 5-3.
We'll get right into what you said. Hurricane came through. Big yikes on that. Gosh. We had a lot of people leaving or wanting to leave, and we got
not the Liners.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Caleb saw an opportunity to, work the system as always. So.
By what? Continuing to play the games because we could? How does that work in the system?
So you had the wind blowing extremely out during those conditions. You hit a pop-up and it was gone.
I know not what you speak of.
Yes, you do. You know very well.
This is fake news. This is you trying to stir up some collusion.
No, Eric always says everything's collusion, so we'll leave that to him. He can be the one that calls in to question everything, so he already does anyway, so he's making new rules because people are getting traded, so we actually have people to play with this week, but,
We could potentially start a weekly segment called What's Happening with the Bashers. What? I mean, what is there even to say anymore? Like, what is there to say? I'm sorry, but for fuck, come on.
Oh man, it's
like
been
Rat's inactive for the rest of the year. You're not going to see him out there again. He works in effing Elmhurst, and then Alex Friedman out for 8 to 10 weeks with a broken arm. All within the course of one weekend. For shit's sake.
It's a big yikes. It's a big yikes for the Bashers. They did get T-Walk out of the Turtles' basement though somehow. Um, that is a question. How did he break free from the Turtles' basement? I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I feel bad for Grant. I mean, I like the rap
There's a
move.
lot of just bad things happening, man. I mean, that's what it is. It's not anything he really had much control over, but now he's got to figure out what he's going to be doing every week.
Yeah, right. I don't know what that is going to be. So, I mean, it's going to be. I mean, this week it's going to be rough. I mean, he doesn't have.
Tough having to face a really good team in the Crocs,
Right.
but
Yeah.
last week though, anything else you took away from last week from the game?
Um. Yeah, I think Marty's got to play better. I mean, I playing the Badgers. I mean, to be honest, Cam's gotten good, good.
Yeah,
Covered strikes.
I've been mentioning that. He's been playing really well.
Um. Yeah, I mean, Marty gave up 7 runs total, I think, and from your quote unquote number one, you just can't do that. And not having Jared there hurt. I mean, Elijah wasn't good either, but I mean,
Elijah's been out of wiffle ball for a year and a half.
right. I mean, and to be able to take 2 from them playing Nick Bray. I mean, and there's nothing against Nick Bray. This was his first 2 games he's ever played. So, I mean, what do you expect? But, I mean, they
Yeah,
should have at least split. I mean, I mean,
they were
Sam looked
close
better.
games.
Sam looked better in
Yeah,
pitching wise. So I think that's a positive to take away from that. But
yeah, pitching
um,
was never his thing. It was more so the hitting. But yeah, he told me from what he did, he got a few more hits
right,
this week. So
yeah, I don't know. I think you got the Vultures right now sitting at 7-3. Would they start out 6, 8, 6 and 0, 6-0,
Yep,
which means they're 1-3 in their
3.
last 4
Yep.
without Chris. I mean, and this week they're having to play Ethan Beeshold. I mean, along with Dave not playing at that same level that he was. So
Yeah.
very interesting to see if they can pull it together. I mean, Garrett's still at like $47, which is fine. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing, but I mean, yeah,
They
like you
need to
said,
pitch. They're not pitching.
they're not. Yeah, see, I haven't looked at their scores
I
very
mean,
often.
that's their thing. I mean, if you look at even the week before, like Dave and Garrett were both Dave and Quinn, I guess. But I
Yeah,
looked over and I saw, I think, them give up a home run or Garrett give up a home run at some point. I'm
right.
not for sure on that, but
Yeah,
that can't happen if you're wanting to win games.
yeah.
So, but
I'll say this: I criticized Brett pretty heavily last week, and his team that he has assembled when they show up. I mean, they're a good pitching team. I mean, that 9 inning game we had 2 weeks ago, they were dealing. I mean, Kyle Schaff's turned into a pretty good pitcher. Brett when he's there. Jake's all of a sudden been pitching well. And Carter Vandergreen looked pretty good last week. He's going to be a nice addition for a team and be able to pick him up. So that was good to see the Bombers playing good wiffle ball. Um, but I mean, I don't know. It just still kills me. I look at this top 7, right, and it's the Barnstormers, the Liners, the Crocs, and the Vultures. I pre-ranked the Vultures to be like 12th like 10th this year. The Crocs 4, the Barnstormers like 7, and me like 3. And I mean, to have the Sluggers even at 5-5. I mean, the Turtles at 6-4. I mean, the Turtles can theoretically get swept 2 more times and split and be a top potential 5 seed. That's crazy.
yeah, that well, it is Leroy. Crazy things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at all the games throughout the years throughout this year, especially. It's just been crazy, kind of.
Right.
Players not living up to expectation, and Marty and Sam and Jared and
Yeah.
all these players, and then, whew, man, and then like a team like the Barnstormers, you don't expect to. But that's why I thought at the beginning of the year they were going to be really good, and they've shown it so far. I mean, they just do things the right way, and they play like a team. But yeah, so not much going on last week. Besides the big matchups between the brothers and stuff, and those I was kind of surprised that the Bombers split, but I mean, I predicted it. But they came through and gave up no runs. That's a very low scoring series. 3 runs total between the two games.
Yeah.
So,
Has Andrew Feldy become a top 5 pitcher in Leroy?
shit, he looked like it. I mean, his pitch was moving incredibly well. So,
Yeah, well, I told you screwed yourself.
yeah. Oh, gosh.
It was all clean balls. He was throwing all clean balls. That's how you can do that.
Anyway, I've never seen clean balls move like that.
I have. Tommy Loftus.
Okay, Tommy Loftus is Tommy Loftus. Does Andy Feldy have the talent that he does? I don't know. But he's looking dang good this year. I'd say he's in that talk of top 5 pitcher. I mean, what are we looking at here for his stats? Is he in the leaderboard for anything?
Who? Feldy?
Who?
Who?
Yeah.
Who? Yeah, Feldy's leading the league in wins. He's got 7.
Oh, wrong
He's got an
Feldy.
ERA of 2.0. 6th innings pitched, or 5th with 15 innings. I mean, he's
given up 5 total runs.
5 earned runs. Yeah, I mean, if you would have said
not
that coming into the year,
since he faced the Badgers.
what did you say?
He hasn't given up a run since he's faced the Badgers.
Right.
So 4 straight games of no runs.
Well, here's what's interesting too. I mean, looking at the Barnstormers team, they're either 1 or 2 in pretty much every pitching and hitting statistical category.
Yeah.
They're 2nd in batting average. They're 3rd in slugging percentage. 2nd in at bats. 3rd in runs scored. 2nd in hits. 2nd in singles. 4th in home runs. 3rd in RBI. And then on the mound, they're leading the league in ERA by almost a whole 1.5. I mean, they've only given up 21 earned runs. Now, granted, yeah, you can make the argument they've played the bottom 5 teams on the schedule, but you still have to play and win.
We'll have to do it, yeah.
So, I mean, if I'm Tuck, yeah, I mean, you got a tough schedule to finish, but you took care of business against the teams you were supposed to. You can't be anything but happy with that. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, correct. Yep. Can't be mad at that at all. I mean, especially that's what you got to do. To be a good team, you have to beat the teams that you're expected to beat. But no one really thought a lot of teams would be that low. No one thought the Badgers would be that bad, or
right.
I didn't think my team would be that bad, but things just happen. So,
no, I mean, there's no 2 ways about it. I mean, hold on, I'm pulling up the salaries here real quick. There was something that stood out for me. Yeah, here we go. 2.
Oh yeah, every one of their players is like insane above their salary.
Tuck is actually the only player on his team that is playing below his salary from last year. He's playing at $36.80. His salary himself was $37.92.
So $1.
$1. Andrew Feldy was drafted at $30.75. He's playing at $46.73. Gags was drafted at $29.83. He's playing at $53.12. Warner was drafted at $22.46. He's playing at $31.85.
So almost all those players are almost $10 above their
at least
average.
At least.
Except for Tuck, who is $1 lower, which is that's not anything.
Correct.
It's not a big. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Correct.
So.
Correct.
But it's gonna be interesting to see going forward what ends up happening. But yeah. So that's, I think, going to do it, right, for the first
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So yeah. Then we'll preview tomorrow's games, and then just tomorrow's games, and then get to that question bag. All right. See you on the other side. And we're back on the other side of Going Corn. Probably a shorter episode today, but as I mentioned before, we're only previewing tomorrow's games because we are going to put out a second show. 2 shows in 1 week. Can you believe it? I can't believe it until it actually happens.
I just want to put this out there that this podcast is my retirement tour. So if you have anything nice to say, feel free to throw it on Twitter because I will not be on any podcast going forward. Thank you.
Just shut up.
Continue.
You are the worst ever sometimes.
This is no longer my podcast. I'm going on mute.
Why are you the way you are?
I hate so much about the things you choose to be. Continue.
So, we're going to preview the matchups. As always, no tiebreaker person tonight. No special guest. Tim wanted to be on the podcast, but we told him he should get out his 15-page review. So,
correct.
Anyway,
probably won't
Crocs and Bashers on Harambe tomorrow. Ooh, boy. Lineups. Ryan Vogus, number 1. Josh Smith's number 2. Jackson, number 3. And Micah Hescott, number 4. And then the Bashers are rolling out Grant, Kyle, Tyler Walk, and Nick Bray. Caleb, thoughts?
My only thought is that Grant better pray to God that the wind is not blowing out tomorrow. I mean, he needs to send up prayers, maybe smoke signals. Who knows? Wear a hijab tomorrow? I don't know. He needs to do something because if the wind is blowing out,
Lord help us all.
I may lose the MVP tomorrow from this series.
From Micah Hescott, right?
Shit, Casper the Ghost at that point.
Yeah.
No. I mean, Kyle's been having a good year. And that's what makes me happy. He's told me multiple times, we know we're not going to win, we're going to have fun. That's good. I agree with that. I'm glad that you're that way. But I want to see, the thing is, Kyle's competitive and he can be good. And I want to see him do well. And so, he's always been at that level where I couldn't draft him being like $24, $25. And I'd like him to be in a good team and see what he can do with the contender. But, I mean, it's just with Tyler and Nick Bray on the back end. That's
a lot to overcome.
I mean, they're not going to overcome it. I mean,
yeah.
So, I mean, I have the Crocs sweeping here. So.
Yeah, same. I don't think. Yeah, there's not going to be much there. I mean, T-Walk hopefully will be.
I'll say this: if the Crocs lose a game tomorrow, Tyler is taking my spot in the national team. Tyler, if you want to get yourself some at-bats in Morenci, go ahead and win a game tomorrow.
Okay. Well, enough on that one. Let's move on. Oh no. Grant just said I'm not excited for Death Week in our grounds crew chat. Ew, okay.
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah. So, you want to start the next matchup?
Sluggers Narwhals, PNC. Sluggers go Eric, James Hayworth, Jason Hilligans, and Tony Lucido. The Narwhals go Chris Deal, Zach Heiss, Ian Garavilla, and Greg Geerling. Tony Lucido is actually a really, really good baseball player. But I've said this too, just because you're a good baseball player, that doesn't mean you're going to be good at whiff, a.k.a. Colin Peters. But I don't know. I mean, I look at this series, Chris Deal's a game changer. Especially PNC has notoriety to have the wind blowing out to right. And so with Eric and James, I mean, James actually is putting up big power numbers this year, which makes me happy. He's having a great season. Eric's doing what he does usually, but James hitting for power is something that team needs. If the wind's blowing out to right, that gives Chris a chance to take over the game, which he can do with his power. Ian, I got to see Ian. Wow, that is a tongue twister. Ian Garavilla. I got to see Ian play this past Sunday at GBL. And
really?
Playing wiffle ball is a different change of pace from baseball, it's for sure. But I think he has potential to be very good. And so if he has a good week, he has a nice overhand delivery. you can show him how to throw it straight. He can pound the zone. These guys struggle hitting fast pitch over the fence consistently if the wind's not howling out. So, I mean, if you can hit the zone, I think there's a chance. Honestly, I like if Chris and if Ian play really well, I could say a split in this matchup here potentially. If they don't play well, the Southers are going to sweep.
Well, I guess it's time to talk about my team again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to?
I mean, you can choose not to, but then just be ready for a barrage of questions on Twitter tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm already getting a barrage of questions of other nonsense, as always. But, I mean, I just, I don't understand. We just can't put it all together at one time. But, I mean, I like this team a lot better. You know, I'm hoping that we can win some games with these people. I do like Chris's talent.
Well, and then you know what? Kudos to you.
And then a stride.
I mean, look at the sliders for crying out loud. I mean,
yeah. I mean, the thing is, I mean, Zach's really coming into his own. He had another like 3 home runs last week. He was our only run. He drove in all of our runs in the first game. So and then Chris in the second game kind of picked it up, had a couple home runs, drove in I think all of our runs in the second game. So if you can get both of those guys going at the same time, and we can pound the zone, not getting those slow pitch counts, allow people to take singles, I think we have a chance to win a game. Again, as I said last week, I'm not picking myself to ever sweep a series until I actually have some wins. So, cheers.
So cheers. Wonderful.
Oh, next matchup is the Liners and Vultures. The Liners are going to roll out Caleb, Jeff Borkowski, Rob Warren, and newcomer Peter Kreischer. Shout out to another 09, or 09, I should say, Indiana baseball player. Cheers to that. And Garrett Quinn, Ethan Beeshold, and Dave Buzik, number 4 for the Vultures this week.
In the doghouse.
I don't know if he's just been pitching that poorly to be down there.
Behind Ethan Beeshold. Dave, thoughts? Behind a Kermit player.
He is gonna. I have a feeling that he's gonna come out. I'm gonna say split here. Just because I think, you know, Rob has been playing really, really well. I think, you know, the top 2 are. I mean, if you look at you and Garrett, I think you even out. I don't think he gives up. I don't think either of you will give up runs, unless he gets like a slow pitch count. I think Jeff and Dave are pretty close, but they're not matched up. But I mean, in terms of having an inning, it just depends on if Dave can now throw strikes. And then, plus I just don't want you to win that many games, so split.
Okay. Well, sorry to disappoint you. We're going to sweep.
Shocking that he says that. I mean, yeah, you do have a good team. I mean, I wouldn't be putting it past you. You're 10-0. See, you're on the opposite end of the spectrum for me. You can predict sweeps.
Until a team decides not to throw me 5 slow pitch counts a game and decides to hit Rob Warren, I'm not going to predict against myself.
And that's why I'm thinking. I think Rob's been doing really well, but I think maybe this week, if they get a couple runs off him, and then if Peter can't throw strikes and gets rocked in one of those games, then, well, we'll see. I mean, he is a talent. He did really well on our team when we were in high school. So, we'll see.
Yeah, it is what it is at this point. I mean, people hate, people know, people like to talk about how we win. You know what it's going to take to beat us, and just teams just don't do it. So at this point, there's really nothing else to say. So the Turtles versus the Barnstormers
on the Corn Shed.
Wow, the inaugural Corn Shed game. So they have
He looks
Robbie,
nice.
Matt. Isn't it like a freaking diamond shape, kind of?
Something like that. The right field is pushed back for certain people, so.
Okay. So it'll be Robbie, Matt, Shane, and Tim for the Turtles, and Gags, Feldy, Tuck, and Warner. So here's the thing that's scary for me, and yeah, Matt's ERA is .83, or lower than that now, I think, and his arm is trash. Robbie hasn't played well compared to what his ability is to be. Shane has looked pretty good in Leroy, and Tim is coming off a vacation. He's been bored. He's got some pent-up energy to take out. I mean, granted, yes, the Barnstormers have been excellent all year. I mean, with Gags, Feldy, Tuck, and Warner. But this is their first time seeing an actual 1-2 that can throw strikes, can hit the board. It's going to force them to swing.
Yeah.
So I think that could take them by surprise, and they may split this one. Especially with Robbie and Matt's ability to hit fast pitch, they're going to need to be able to hit spots and not throw slow counts, because Robbie and Matt, if the wind's blowing out in the corn shed, they'll take them deep multiple times. So I'm going to say split, just because I don't think one way or another there's a dominant force here that's going to be like, yeah, they're going to beat them by a lot. So I'm going to say split.
Update on Matt's ERA went up. He gave up his second earned run of the year.
Oh, okay.
Last week, but still very good at 1.33. Shane at a 4.5 for the year. Tim's at a 4. Oh no, 5.3. That was T1. Here's gonna be my hot take of the week, since everybody wants hot takes. Barnstormers are gonna sweep handily. That's my bold prediction.
Your bold prediction is that a 10-0 team is going to sweep.
Yes.
You need to work on those, bro.
It's great, right? I'm doing great with this.
You are ass at hot takes. You are terrible.
That's the joke.
Splits. A split is a hot take. It's the 10-0 team. That's a hot take.
Turtle sweep?
No, I'm not going to say the turtle sweeps. That would be Hiroshima. That would be radioactive hot. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say a split.
All right, so who we got next? We got I gotta go back to this page.
Bombers and Sliders.
Bomber Sliders. Okay, Bombers rolling out. Brett at the number 1 for the first time all year. Shaft, number 2. Jake Van Buren, number 3. And CVG, after making his anticipated debut last week.
CBS?
No, that's safe for Arthur. Okay. Versus the Sliders bringing out Alec.
Why isn't he playing
Ryan
Clark?
Travis, Moselle, and Alex Clark, superfan. Caleb, thoughts?
If the Sliders are going to roll out Peter Clark, I would have said sweep Sliders easily. I mean, he brings a level of BDE to the game that's just unmatched. But I don't know. If Alec Gerlach's going to continue to play at $23, this is an easy sweep for me. I mean, Egg has not been great. Alec's been bad. B-Trav hasn't been anything special. And, I mean, Brett and Kyle have been great these past 2 weeks. I mean, they lost a tough sweep against us, but, I mean, to split against the Sluggers and to get their first win 2 weeks ago, I mean, they're looking up. They're moving in the right direction. And I'll say this, the Bombers get a sweep here, look out. They could go on a little bit of a streak. I mean, they pass up the Badgers if the Badgers don't take one at least this week. So, and the Badgers don't have Marty either. So, I mean, we'll get into that series. But, I mean, I'm going to say Bombers sweep. And here's the hot take. They sweep pretty handily here.
Huh. Interesting. I can't disagree with you on this. I mean, every year, Brett and his teams find some way to make a little streak, you know, get a little something going, and, you know, end up being better than what they were. Now, do I see them getting out of the death bracket? I mean, they could. But it's a tough hill for them. But I mean, if they start,
You're saying there's a chance.
if they sweep the Sliders, I mean they'll be at 4 wins. That's just depends on what we do against the Sluggers and what the Vultures do. So, and then what the Maniacs do. I mean, there's 3 teams there that could drop out that they could slide up and overtake them. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm predicting a sweep here because Jake's been pitching really well too. It's all a matter of will CVG hold up.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, last series, Caleb, take it away.
Badgers Maniacs. Badgers are rolling out Cam, Sheriff, Sam Stahl, and Elijah. Maniacs have Vince, Kevin, John, and Lou. Lou is making an appearance.
Oh no,
We got Lou.
no Jack, and that's big for them, I think.
He's playing at $47 this year.
Yeah,
He's
that's
been the best player.
Oh yeah, he's been. Not only has he been hitting really well, but his pitching has been really good too. He's always struggled to throw strikes consistently. And a couple years ago when he was on the ovens, when he was drafted, because last year he was drafted #1 after being on that ovens team, that's what he was doing. He was throwing more strikes and able to, keep teams from getting slow pitches on him.
Right.
And I think that's why he's having success again this year. But without him, I think it's a little bit of a dip. But I'm going to say, sorry, Sheriff, but I'm going to say the Maniac sweep.
Interesting.
Still think they have a lot of good talent there. The hitting, I need to see more hitting from Jared. He broke out of his slump in GBL, got some hits, hit a big home run, but we'll see if he can carry that over here. And then Sam has still struggled hitting. We'll see if he can keep it up going again. But again, this is a team that throws strikes. I played them a few weeks ago. Vince obviously is a very good pitcher. Kevin and John will hit the zone, and we just don't know about Lou. But then if you look at the matchup on the other side with Elijah, they could take advantage of him real quick if he's not throwing hard.
Right. So, yeah. You know what? I'm going to say split. Seeing what Jared did, we hit BP today, and Jared's swing looks really good.
Yes.
He's too good to be this bad for this long.
Exactly.
And at some point, he's going to break out. You're going to look up at the leaderboard in homers, and he's going to be sitting around 15 after 2 weeks. So he's got the ability to go off, and I mean in a way that very few people in this league can do it. And it's like with a guy like him, it's a numbers game, and so I think this is the week that he can do that. But again, I mean, if he doesn't and Cam doesn't play at the level he's been playing, the Maniacs will sweep. So I'm gonna say split because I think this is the week Jared's swing. I think he got some confidence this past week, and he looked really good hitting BP today. So I think this is the week that he breaks out. And 4-8's not a great spot to be, but it's a lot better than a lot of other teams. So
true. Yeah, a lot better than the Narwhals. So come on, Narwhals.
Be noble.
Be noble.
Be noble.
Anyway, so that's gonna do it for matchups. We're gonna move into the ever so popular question bag.
I don't even know what these all are.
Okay, can you get the ones on the owners chat?
On the owners chat, yeah. If you get the other ones,
yeah, I'll get the ones on Twitter.
Okay.
So I'll start off. Al asks, how many Indiana-based teams should crack the new NWLA top 25 ranking, and more where at? I think from Leroy, I think probably Liners and Barnstormers should be up there. I don't see why they shouldn't be. Orbital, Magic, and Granger.
Yeah.
And then GBL, I don't know if are the Rippers dominant enough to crack a top 25? Possibly. And then Indy Southside, I don't know. Maybe the whatever that one team is, the short shorts, the one that has Dudas on it. But I want to say,
what about Indianapolis Wiffle? What about the Nighthawks?
quote from
what about the Ironmen?
I gotta look more into their league. I don't know about them. Maybe they can.
What about the Pond Scums?
Is that really a team name?
I don't know. I'm just. That's not a real league. It's not a real league. I'm serious. That cannot be a real league.
Oh no.
I've got to look up these teams because this was. Bogus read them off to me at GBL this past week, and I was just in awe. Hold on. Make sure you tag them in this too, because I want to make sure that they. Okay, the Circle City Crusaders, the Hoosier State Hillcats, the the Indy Ironmen, and the Naptown Nighthawks. It's not a real league. It can't be. So,
okay, well, back when in the day, this was a question brought up in the owner's chat too of worst lineups ever in Leroy. You had me and Jake Olthoff run out there playing games. Okay, so let's
thank God he's not in the league anymore.
Cool it on the whole not a real league thing, because if people looked at those games, they'd be like, "Yikes, this is a league." But we've come a long way from those times. Those were dark times in the kingdom.
I'm just saying, we can't do better than the Naptown Nighthawks. Come on.
So to answer your question, Al, I'd say about 5-6 teams from Indy, maybe. I think all those teams are doing really well enough to get there, but I'll say 4 for sure. The 2 from Leroy and the 2 from Orbital, I think, should be there. And then Rippers maybe crack the top 25 at 10-3. Or right? They're
11.
11-3. Yeah.
And the only reason you're saying that is because you're bitter at Gags.
Why?
I don't know. Reasons undisclosed.
Okay. Anyway.
All right.
Oh, you have a question from the owner's chat?
Will Greg ever unblock the commissioner and the Norwiches?
False.
No.
No.
No. So no is your answer.
Correct. Jared asks, is this the week the Badgers turn things around? Caleb thinks yes. I think not yet.
Okay. Are the Norwiches the new team to beat in Leroy?
No, they don't exist. And Tapper, you need to stop running your mouth so much. Because I know it's you, because you didn't change anything from the Wiffle Ducks. You took the Wiffle Ducks account and changed the names of everything, but you still left all the stuff up with your hashtag power clacker. So, fun.
Come on, Brad. Brad Bierling.
There have been talks of Rat disowning the Bashers. Thoughts?
There's been talks. It's already done. It's been done. They've been disowned. He's taken them out of his will. Confirmed. He's moved on to bigger and better. Direct quote from the vehicle. All right.
Next question.
Who takes everything I say serious the most? Ryan Bogus, my wife, or Greg?
Oh wow, that was the same question asked by Leroy Wiffle. I wonder who's running that account on Twitter this night. Wow.
I really just want to get a list of who's running all the 8 burner accounts going on through Leroy right now. Like, Wiffle Ball Twitter's a little out of control right now in Indiana.
I don't
say your wife.
Yeah, because I don't really take what you say that seriously. I've come to know you, Tim Wilcher. So, Ryan, I'd put him second on that list of taking. So,
I mean, yeah, you just need to get off Snapchat. That's
him tagging me and stuff. I block him, so maybe he can get unblocked.
Okay, next.
Matt thinks the Corn Bombers, and this is a question also in the owner's chat, of who is the best team in Leroy history. Matt thinks the Corn Bombers could shut down the 2014 Chainsmokers with the GOAT Allen on the team. Is this a true statement? And will we ever see Allen again? You will never see Allen again.
First of all, Allen is not the GOAT. So let's not start that narrative. Second of all, the 2016 what team? The 2016 Bombers?
Yeah, I mean that's really what we're talking about here. We're not talking about any other team, honestly.
I mean, yeah, I think they're the best. I mean, but I think that actually, to be honest, I think the 2017 Liners were better than the 2018 Liners. And we just had to play a 3-man series against the Bombers, which screwed us against Brett, Eric, and Colin. So.
Oh, going back to that again.
Yeah, I am. Because if we would have played a 4-man series, we would have eaten Neil's cookies. We would have put our hand in the cookie jar. So.
And Neil was on fire in the championship game.
Yeah, tell me how that works. But I don't know. Yeah. I don't think you can argue against it. But I mean, let's just talk about a real issue. R.I.P. Jeremiah Wilcher. We'll never see him again. Him or Sloucher. Actually, I've seen Sitter almost like 5 days a week on my morning trip down Kennedy, sitting there just ripping Marlboros at like 7:30 in the morning.
Come on.
Monitoring street cones. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Shit's hilarious. I always roll down the window and I tell him to get to work. He gets pissed. I'm shocked he hasn't put it in Leroy yet. All right.
Next question. Your turn.
Oh. No, I just asked mine.
No, I asked okay, I'll ask the next one. Does Al breaking his arm help or hurt the Basher season? Come on, man. That was mean. I mean, it doesn't. Come on. I don't think it helps.
Why?
Okay. At least he was on the team. He was playing decently.
It helps from the fact that now Grant has to make a move to try and make somebody different. It's no offense to Al. It's about finding production. Again, Kyle said that he thinks their team mindset should be fun. If that's the case, then no, it does not help the Bashers. But if you're looking to win games, you have no production coming from the 3-4 spot. So Al getting hurt, and I'm not happy that he got hurt. That sucks. But now Grant's going to have to try and switch something up or do something different, and he might be more competitive.
Yeah. I get what you're saying there, but...
Okay.
Well, we'll see. I mean, yeah.
Why did Jackson pitch himself third? I'm answering this. Because Jackson likes to write narratives for himself that just are not true. I can't field the wiffle ball, yet he makes one-handed grabs in the field. My arm is shot, and yet he's still, again, one of the best pitchers in Leroy. So, very interesting to me. Jackson should not be pitching himself third. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think he just wanted to get more at bats for Vogus. So, and Josh. So, I think that's why. But I agree with you. He's always kind of a self-doubter. I don't know why. He's one of the best wiffle ball players in the country. Still, when he says he's falling apart. But anyway, how are we going to decide what to name the new field? I don't know. Corn Shed sounds pretty good to me. Caleb?
What about Ashby Memorial?
Oh, here we go. Moving on. Next question.
Maybe the mouth metronome. Okay. Why will Sam not let me park by the garage and I've been parking there longer than he's been in the league? You'll have to bring that up with the grounds committee. Put in an official review or an official complaint. You're not on the board anymore. Continue.
Oh, no. Okay. Is this the week the Narwhals break through and secure the bag? Hashtag be noble. Let's hope so. I might pop champagne if we do actually win a game this week. So.
Okay. Could this Basher lineup be the worst lineup the league has seen in the history of wiffle ball?
No, me and Jake Olthoff. Or what was it? Me, Colin, and whatever else I had. It wasn't. No, whatever else I had was terrible because I played with a 3-man lineup that day.
I mean, 2015 when we were begging people to come just so we could get 12 people out there for a few games. I mean, we rolled up some lineups with Isaiah DeVries and Joe Melf for Andy Turner that were just abysmal. I mean, we had Melf out there in work boots and like frickin' Levi jeans from 1940.
Okay, then you had Jake Olthoff wearing his work boots and jeans on his phone while I'm pitching. I couldn't even make
Okay, well, you know what? I took care of that. Okay, he's never coming back. Okay, so.
Anyway, who's a better Pokemon trainer, Ryan Vogus or Greg Geerling?
Greg.
No comment.
I mean, we could talk experience. We could talk about shiny count. We could talk about 100 IVs. I think Greg wins that category every time.
Love you, Vogus. All right, moving on.
Okay.
Next question.
What the fuck was Friedman doing, and does this help or hurt the Badgers? We're gonna ignore the second part of that question because that makes no sense. What was Friedman doing? So, rumor swirling. I got the official statement from an inside source close to the Magic organization. Al was under the influence of some sort of alcoholic beverage. May have been Grey Goose. There's no way of knowing.
May have been twisted.
He was walking up a hill or maybe a steep incline, and he was carrying a cooler, and he slipped, and his arm fell on said cooler, therefore breaking 2 bones in his right arm, in his left arm. He's having surgery next week.
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. A follow-up question. What was Al's blood alcohol content when he fell? Over or under 20? 0.20. I'm going to take the over.
Sorry, Al. I'm going to take the over on that one, too.
All right.
Okay, can we get a shout-out? Oh, wait, sorry. Coffee with Friends asks, when will the Tom W. statue be made? Whenever we can afford to actually get lights. We bought a drone today, though.
See, that's an interesting point, though. We could afford it if the owners would actually pay their league fees.
Wow, isn't that a great concept?
Weird, right?
Paid like 6?
5.
Yikes. Oh. Question from the question bag in the owners chat.
Oh. How many flat tires has Tim had on his mower? There would be no way of knowing.
Can we get a shout out for the birthday bash that's coming up to get the whole league at set 'em ups?
Oh, sure. Friday, June 28th. Set 'em up lanes starting at around 9:30. If you're into this kind of thing, Majestic Star Casino starting at around 7:30. Sheriff will be in attendance. Probably a few tequila rips in. Potential to have 2 friends out. So, on the radar. They did respond to my text.
16?
There's potential. It's going to be rowdy. That's all I'm going to say. There's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be bags played. Yeah. I'm going to try and see if we can get live music. We'll see. I've talked to Carl. I'm not really getting any groundwork.
No traction.
We'll find out.
All right.
Can I get a real prediction of how Ian will do tomorrow? I mean, I already said it earlier. I think Ian has potential to be at minimum a $40 player, given enough at-bats and innings pitched. Tomorrow, I don't know. We'll see how the wind is.
Gotta love it. Will Ryan Vogus and I from Sheriff ever have our own podcast? Most likely not.
No.
Because you would have to do all the work, bud, and I don't see you doing that. So
nope. No is the answer.
And 2 other podcasts have come and gone in Leroy.
R.I.P. to Fireside Chat and R.I.P. to the
They want us to come and help them restart it by recording a show together. Eric and Brett.
Why can't they do it?
They need Going Corn to help them.
No, they know what they're doing.
Question.
They're being lazy. Will the desert help Tim's performance?
Doubtful. He'll
I
probably
don't think you should
sunburn.
be worried about Tim's performance. I think you should be worried about yours because Tim's been worlds better than you this year. Continue.
Oh,
That was from
who
Jordan
asked
Moselle.
that question? Who?
Jordan Moselle.
Okay. Ryan Vogus says, now that John Monco has broken out, will we see Casper the Ghost or Arthur Reed debut this week?
I would say Arthur before Casper, although it's Leroy, there would be no way of knowing.
All right, next question.
I want an in-depth discussion on the best team in Leroy
We
history.
already went over that.
We did. Okay. We continue to look. There's a picture of T-Walk and his new girlfriend.
Did T-Walk get free from how did T-Walk get free from the chains in the Turtles' basement?
He found a key. There's nothing else in the owner's chat.
Okay, no. Leroy Wiffle asks, I wonder who is taking over this. Why did you block the commissioner on the podcast Twitter account? Do you not want me to publicize it so you only get 2 views with 3 of them being Jared? That doesn't make sense with the logic there, but good try. Tim, if you stop tagging me and calling me out, then I'll unblock you. Could Jeremy Ratt have been an all Leroy player if he didn't quit the Bashers? Yes. Could he have been? Yes. Would he have been? Questionable. And then, how inflated are the Croc stats going to be after this week?
I already made that prediction. I said the MVP race could be taken over
By Micah Hescott. Anyway, I think that's all the questions. There's no more in the owner's chat because I don't want to get chastised again for not having the flipping.
Well, it's becoming a problem that more than half of our podcast is taken up by audience question, by the question bag.
You're not wrong.
I don't know. Who cares?
All right. Well, with that said,
I have 2 things I want to plug.
Yes, please.
1, be on the lookout for any updates from 2 friends. When Big Booty Mix 16 is going to drop, we're having a listen party at Set 'em Up Lanes. We're usually there every weekend, so regardless of if there's a Big Booty drop or not, we usually will be there. So you may find us there Friday or Saturday night, sometimes Sunday, from the hours of 8 to, depends on how many Captain and Cokes we've had. So there's that. The other plug is that we have our guest confirmed for Wednesday night. Going to be someone you don't want to miss. I'll put it out there. He is the founder of the Couts Wiffle Ball League. So,
come on. That's confirmed.
Just now, that is confirmed.
Oh boy. Okay. All right then. Well, we'll see you on Wednesday after the games. We'll preview, the Thursday games. So hope to see you then.
And you'll see Jim Tucker.
From Caleb, this has been Going Corn.
See ya.